realize that I don't really script these things. Everybody, there's a lot of people out there who'll just, they'll look up certain things and then they'll say, well, and they jot down notes. I don't do that. Every time I do one of these, it's completely unscripted. The only thing that was ever scripted probably was my audio plays, which I haven't worked on in years. But uh, other than that, we don't sit down. I don't sit down and I don't hammer out what I'm going to talk about. So sometimes I come on here in the morning. I don't even know what the title of the video, because our big news this week was, they finally admitted there are a number of scripts have been handed in. They're all contingent for Doctor Who on what's going on. Also, we just found, and outside of Doctor Who, Winona Ryder is now going to be on Wednesday. Now I'm like, well, yeah, of course she's gonna. She ain't got nothing else to do. Stranger Things is over. Well, remember, didn't HBO Max do some things for Doctor Who back a few years ago? And all right, well, that's another rumor, of course. So, like I said, I'm not getting my hopes up till I see something signed on the dotted line. Okay. Like I said, my worst nightmare, though, would be like Netflix Doctor Who, and they go the total, like, Game of Thrones angle. You know? But then again, Emilia Clarke as the Doctor, nude scenes. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I think they showed the... Oh, God, now I can't believe I've forgotten all that already. Yeah, they were showing episodes, I believe, on HBO Max. And yeah, it is cold out here. Thank you for bringing that up. Oh, hang on, let's see. Yeah, we got missed for a lot of the snow. Like I said, we didn't really get a whole lot. And thankfully, like I said, the roads yesterday were pretty much passable. There was a few, a few slippery spots here and there, but other than that, it was easy to get in. I know, that's what I said. I can't remember either. All I remember is they were doing a little co-op thing there back, and they were showing some of the episodes on HBO Max. But the problem is, I'm not sure I want a deal signed this early, because like I said, as far, I try to be optimistic, but RTD, after his last couple seasons and finales, like I said, for the most part, there were good episodes. I won't lie. But the finales just completely did not stick the landing. All right? Yeah, it was only so many years on the China deal. I think that was over. My gosh, I have fallen so far behind on some shit. Well, mainly because I avoid social media for the most part these days. There's too much bullshit going on. There's too much disinformation being spread. There or misinformation. There's too much. I like that, disinformation. Okay. Too much misinformation being spread. You got too many people out there, trying to act like their city's the Alamo, and it's just ridiculous crap. I like that. Somebody brought up a great point. Yeah, don't you love it? You have celebrities like Billie Eilish and them telling all the rest of you how to live. Meanwhile, they're living inside a house behind security teams with how many foot-tall walls, hedges, trees, and have no dealings with reality whatsoever, but they're telling you how to live. Oh. There was a reputable Reddit leak about wanting... Here's the thing. They have come a long way with AI. But at the same time, like I said, I'm not sure I want RTD to even touch Classic Who anymore. I don't want him near it. Look at what he did to Sutek. Look at what he did to Omega. Look what he did to the Ronnie. Completely botched it. And that bi-generation bullshit. Oh. Like I said, I'm really trying to be optimistic here, but the problem is this series, the reboot, or, the continuation, as I prefer to call it, had been on since 2005. Things are going to definitely slow down after 20 years. There's no way around it. Plus, you've got too many imbeciles out there running around who have some kind of, grand media power now who wouldn't know good television if it walked up to them and bit them on the ass. And some of them are writers too. But all right, how much trouble? Well, here's the thing. I don't do politics really too much, but like I said, I don't know why everybody's obsessed with Trump. I don't know why everybody was obsessed with Biden. I don't know why guys, the president of the United States is nothing more than a figurehead these days. Look at the innovative things they're doing. Yeah, because someone else probably told them to do it. Your president's a middleman. Bought and paid for. The real government, you'll never see them. It was like George Carlin told you years ago. The politicians are put there to give you the illusion that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have owners. They own you. And that was out of one of his last specials, and he ended that off with one of the greatest statements I ever heard, and says, they know the truth. The reason why they call it the American dream is because you have to be asleep to believe it. The American dream died a long time ago for most folks. Really did. Because now, we've got runaway inflation. They've had this stupid ass Federal Reserve System in place since 1913, and all it's done is run the country into trillions of dollars in debt. And meanwhile, like I said, the government keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like I said, why did we have to have a Department of Energy? Come on, the states were doing it on their own just fine. Just like the Department of Education. The education system was better underneath the states than it ever has been under federal control. It's just, like I said, it's dumb shit here and there. But like I said, that doesn't have to do with doctors. So, like I said, I don't like Trump. I don't dislike Trump. I don't know the man. All I know is, yay, he's president. Big deal. He's just going to do a bunch of things a bunch of other people want him to do. And that's how you stay alive for your entire term. Because the last president who tried, in my opinion, tried to do good things for the people and tried to change things, wound up with his brains ventilated all over Dealey Plaza. Because it pissed off all the wrong people. But that's just me. Yeah, like I said, and from what I'm seeing in the UK, like I said, the UK is steadily becoming an Orwellian nightmare. Where if you type the wrong thing on your Twitter, you could literally get knocks on your door. They've got people doing jail time for shit that they shouldn't be doing any time at all for, let alone charged with a crime. It's like, folks, the police out here are stretched thin enough. Then you had all these imbeciles running around a few years ago to defund the police. Yeah, look at what happened after they did that. Crime ran rampant. But, all right, but back to Doctor Who. Like I said, I don't like waxing political because people are going to do what they're going to do, and they're going to do it for their own reasons. Come on, we've got people in Congress who can barely answer a question with a straight thought or sentence, or a complete sentence. Yet, when you counterbalance it, like I said, I'm not saying all celebrities and politicians are evil. What I'm saying is, for every one good one, you probably got about 10 or 100 others that aren't a good one. Yeah, pretty soon we're going to be back the way it was back in the good old days. So if you said the word booger on the air, you could be, fined, censured, and like I said, just like the other day, the obliteration of the English language on YouTube. He self-deleted, or self-harmed, or using the word grape to describe acts, or essay. I am so tired of hearing essay. It's like, guys, an essay was something you writ for college. An essay was a thing about a topic. Abbreviating a certain, evil act is not going to make that act go away. But no, it'll get your popularity turned down on your algorithm. That's all they care about. I know, like I said, it's getting scary out there, ain't it? The thought police have been officially arriving, and they have been for a long time, but now they're getting power. And, oh gosh, and like I said, I went off about the whole SAG-AFTRA strike again. I'm like, guys, the only reason the big celebrities got involved because they wanted to save their own asses. They claim to be Fran Drescher and all them. And in my opinion, they suddenly get involved, and it's like, yeah, and they walk away with their rights protected, and the voice actors, the ones they claim they did it all for, are still going to get boned because they're scared shitless. No longer are they going to be able to get their Nepo children in the cinema because chances are, sometime in the not too distant future, all your actors are going to be AI generated. Hell, we got too many Nepo babies in the Hollywood mix as it is. Well, here's the thing about my thoughts on drugs and all that stuff. Prohibition has never worked. Never worked. Look at how well that turned out in the 20s and all that. A lot of your big-time millionaires that came up and are still, a lot of the big-time millionaire families and billionaire families that are still around today made their money out of their what you call it, their distant ancestors, or relatives, sorry, I was going to say distant ancestors. I mean, their relatives from back in the day made their big money off prohibition. Hell, look at the Kennedys. Papa Kennedy, I think it was Joseph Kennedy. Yeah, made his money during prohibition. A lot of bootleggers rose and made a lot of money. But fact check me on that. I may be wrong. But like I said, back to Doctor Who before we go out. Well, ICE didn't do anything wrong. You have to remember, ICE has been running in 98% of the country with no fault. It's just in a couple of areas they've decided they're going to be sanctuary cities and that they're now above federal law. And it's like, that's not how it works. Also, it's kind of convenient that your Minnesota governor, mayor, and all that, they're trying to, push all this big protest movement and all that because they don't want people to remember the fact that they're about to be busted for a big-time welfare fraud. But okay, so I got just a few seconds to go. This video filled itself up pretty quickly. Like I said, I don't know where I'm going in these videos most of the time because I don't script them. So just keep in mind, folks, you know, allegedly Doctor Who's going on. They're bound and determined to keep it going. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen at this point. All I know is that multiple scripts have been turned in based on a number of contingencies that should have been thought out before RTD blew his load with Billy Piper at the end of that last show. Oh boy, did that come out wrong. But oh well. Take care, everybody. Please. Just be kind, be calm, and be safe. Enjoy life for the best you can. And we'll all hopefully see you again tomorrow. Take care, everybody.